We had an amazing shopping day today. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Isaiah, and in this video we're going to talk about all the assets we purchased as well as all the money we made this week. But if you're new to the channel, this is an income generating account where we sell cash secured puts, covered calls, do credit spreads, and collect some nice dividend paychecks in order to generate income every single week. So with that being said, let's first jump into all the things that we purchased today, and then we'll talk about the money we made. So it's Black Friday. I didn't do any shopping at the store, but I did in the stock market. So let's first talk about our cornerstone funds. I have three more stable yet high yielder funds that I love. PDI, my all-time favorite. And then also CRF and CLM, cornerstone funds. Always remember, guys, my trades are my opinions and they should never be taken as financial advice. So CRF, we had 1,200 shares before today. We bought another 100 shares. Here's our trade history there at $7.94. My price average cost is $7.98, which is actually exactly what it's trading at currently. We're at 1,300 shares, and we do have $116 that's going to hit the account tonight. I've already spent that money, and I will talk about what I used it for in a minute. But yes, so we are up to 1,300 shares by the end of 2026. I would like to have 3,000 shares of each CRF and CLM. We also bought 100 shares of this today. Let's show our trade history here. 100 shares at $8.29. My average cost is $8.21. I have 1,300 shares. Same thing. I have $97.92 going to hit the account today. A nice little paycheck. That's a $200 paycheck today. So because of the shopping I did, before ex-dividend day, I'm going to get paid $200 today. That's my favorite kind of shopping, my friends, when you can buy something that's going to pay you later. It's my favorite way to do it. So let's talk next about what we did with that $200. So PDI and the two cornerstone funds, actually, I apologize, I did forget. I bought some more PDI shares today. I put $89 in there. It got me 5 shares. My average cost is $17.75. I have 563 shares. I want to get this to 1,000 shares, hopefully by the end of March 2026. That's the goal. Buy little bits at a time. Use income to grow this income. Now, I own PDI in multiple accounts. My average cost is around $18. So I don't know if I'll buy more in the $19 and $20 range if it shoots back up there, but anytime it's 18, in that 18s, I want to get that 1,000 shares because that's going to get me around $220 every single month. Gotta love that. So with that being said, now let's talk about two of our ultra yielders. TSYY, I want to get 1,000 shares of. That is my goal. I have 924 shares. That is because today I purchased, let's see, how much did I purchase? $200 worth. So the cornerstone funds that are paying me today, I used that paycheck that's going to come to buy more ultra yielders. TSYY and COYY are my two ultra yielders. I now have 924 shares. My goal is to get this to 1,000 shares, and then I will just continue to take that paycheck every single week and invest it into another high ultra yielder. So we're at 924. And they announced their distribution rate today, 15 cents. That means next week I'm going to get around $130, $140 for the shares that I own now. Don't forget, today is ex-dividend day, so the 30-some shares I bought today will not count toward next week's paycheck, but the week after. So it'll be about $130, $140 coming our way next week. That's fantastic. The other ultra high yielder I have right now is COYY. I want to get 500 shares of this. I currently have 408 shares, and they announced their distribution rate at 27 cents per share, which is going to give me a paycheck of about $110. So between TSYY And COYY, I'm going to get about $250 next week. I'm hoping within the next 4 weeks, I'm going to have it all wrapped up of my 1,000 shares of TSYY and my 500 shares of COYY, and we will start investing into other funds, similar to what we did with YBIT. I said many times my goal was to get to 500 shares. I got to 500 shares about a month ago, and I've just been collecting, what, 30 some bucks or so every single week, and I take that income and I put it into other high yielders. So once we hit our goals, we continue to invest in other high-yielding funds. And I am going to put a poll for the Premium Generals to review of where the next purchases are going to go. Again, that's going to come after I get my 1,000 shares of TSYY and my 500 shares of COYY. So we made some great purchases today. Again, I purchased today to get paid tomorrow. That is always my goal. I also want to talk about contracts expiring this week. Then we will talk about our trade history, just to show the income coming in. So we had 2 positions expire today. We had the Rumble covered call. Covered call is when you're agreeing to sell a stock for a predetermined price. You get paid. That's pretty awesome. And we had an MSTU cash secured put. A cash secured put means you're agreeing to buy a stock for a predetermined price. In either one of those 2 scenarios, you get paid a credit. So we agreed to buy MSTU for $4.50. So that means we're going to buy it for that. MSTU, along with MicroStrategy, took quite a big hit. So it's down to like $1.21. But that's okay. I'm not really super worried about it. It's a double leverage fund, and we'll sell covered calls on it until it shoots back up. So we'll continue to generate income with options. As you can see, we have quite a few options open. Oh, sorry, that's our stocks. Quite a few options open here. That's my favorite way to generate income. Sell options, generate income, take that income, invest it into dividend-paying funds, take that dividend income, invest into option premium, and you rinse and repeat the cycle. That's my favorite way to generate income. So far, another fantastic week. So now that we've talked about everything we purchased, let's jump over and take a look at our trade history, show all the money we've collected this week. But before I do that, I want to give a quick shout out to the beautiful Premium Generals. It's an exclusive group where I post private content such as educational videos on how to sell cash secured puts, how to sell covered calls, how to do credit spreads, as well as how to do debit spreads, and private portfolio updates. Any move that I make, any investment I make, the Premium Generals are the first group that gets to know. And on top of that, guys, they get to be featured in every single video. And I do have about 70 or so videos in the Premium Generals group. I post 4 to 6 times a week in there, so they get tons of videos too. It's $10, guys. Come check it out. Would love to have you. Might learn something on top of that. If you want to see your name in every single video, stop on by. And with that being said, let's jump back into that video. Okay, so here we are in our trade history. First thing, let's talk about that Rumble covered call. You see at 0, we got paid a nice credit to agree to sell Rumble for $8.50. The stock stayed below that price, which is amazing. That means we get to keep those shares, and we're going to sell a covered call on them next week. MSTU, we had the $4.50 put as well as the $5 put get assigned to us. Again, that's because MicroStrategy had quite a bit of a rundown. That's okay. I'm going to sell covered calls at probably the $2 strike until the stock comes back up. Then I'll sell them closer to the price I purchased them for. That's the way I like to generate income on losing positions. And we'll still come out ahead. We sold a covered call early in the week for SABR at the $1.50. We got paid $34. And we sold a cash secured put on ACHR, collected $80, and collected another $50 from rolling a current position of RIG from November to January. It's crazy to believe that January is already coming upon us. You know, Thanksgiving's past. We're coming up on Christmas and other holidays, and just crazy. Time just flies by. But dividends we got paid this week. We got 132 from TSYY on the 25th, as well as 78 from COYY. Give us about $200. So, which again, we purchased more. So next week, as we already talked about, we're going to get about $250 from them. That's fantastic. ULTY is paying $30 today, along with 116 from CRF and 98 from CLM. With Thursday being Thanksgiving, the YBIT payment is pushed out till next week. But again, that's around $30 going to hit the account. I'm going to count that 30-some this week because, again, if it wasn't, for the holidays, it would have hit its normal time on Friday, which is today. So we'll count that toward this week's payment and not next week. So all in all, great week of option premiums, great week in dividend funds hitting the account. We'll continue to invest in these dividend payers. So that way we have a nice combination of ultra high yielders like the COYY, TSYY, ULTY, and YBIT, and then more reliable but yet still decent yield, the Cornerstone Funds, CLM, CRF, and PDI. And then finally, overall, the account at $71,411. Account value up $923 today. We're down 61 after hours, but I say it a lot. I don't really place too much stock in the share value of the account because I value and rate the account at the assets I've been able to purchase. So, as stock prices go down or pullbacks happen, I try to buy more and more so I can value the account based on the income these assets can produce me, not what their current share price is. So that's just the way I invest. I'm not saying that's the right way. I'm not saying that's the wrong way. That's what I like to do, and that's what works for me. And if you made it this far in the video, you are a true champion. And hope you enjoyed the Thursday of football as well as time with family and friends. And always remember, guys, Ohio State's going to win the national championship this year, just like last year. And that being said, I appreciate each and every one of you, and I will see you in the next one.